Alright guys, welcome back to Last Call. It is my last full day in Mexico City, the capital of Mexico. Basically I fly out tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon I have a class though that I have to attend. It's my first day of class, so I can't miss it or else I'll be dropped from the program already. So tomorrow's going to be a little bit busy for me, so I'm kind of going out and doing my thing tonight, enjoying it. I've had a great day today. Went to a tequila bar, went to a whiskey bar, had some really good food, had some drinks, and it was such a great time. It was really inexpensive, and I'm really enjoying it out here. But anyway, this video, I wanted to do my top advice for Mexico City coming from me. So keep in mind, this is my first trip out here. I'm by no means a Mexico City expert. I'm actually far from that. But if you were like me, a beginner, a newbie coming out here for the first time, this should be the advice for you. So again, if you're an expert and you can kind of help out or pinpoint or kind of add to any of the advice I'm giving, by all means, please comment below and let us know what you know and what can help out a potential visitor. But I'll go ahead and start off. So this is my advice from a beginner and newbie to Mexico City. So I flew into the Mexico City airport, and what I've noticed is it was really, really crowded. So there wasn't a lot of seats available, and on top of that, it was really crowded. So I saw a lot of people sitting on the floor, a lot of people standing kind of in the walkway area, and it's just really, really crowded. There was a lot of like those golf carts like taking people from one side to the other. So it must be a fairly decent sized airport, and on top of that, there's just no seating available, and it was just crowded. So if you're gonna go, just keep that in mind. You either want to get there early enough to get a seat, or if you don't mind a seat, just know that you're probably going to be standing or sitting on the ground. So if you're flying out of the Mexico City airport, just expect that, please, because it did seem really, really crowded. All right, public transportation, it's readily available here, and it seems like it's really easy to get. So they have a metro, which is the trolley or the train. It goes from one side of the city to the other, and it's either 7 pesos or 5 pesos. I think that was 7 pesos, which is less than 50 cents American. So it's really, really cheap, depending on if it's one stop or 6 stops. So it's really cheap, and it does go throughout the city. So if you need public transportation, the metro is probably your first option. So on top of that, there's buses. In my previous videos, you can see where I did some of the tours, and you can see that I've kind of focused on the double-deck buses, the public city buses and all that. So they're readily available. I want to say I heard that the bus is 5 pesos. If you know the right price, please correct me in here, but I'm pretty sure they told me the metro is 7 pesos and the bus is 5 pesos, which is what, 25 cents American, something like that, about. So it's super cheap. On top of that, there's rideshare, there's plenty of taxis all over the city, so getting around the city will not be a problem, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, mini rideshare apps. So in America, we know Uber pretty well. Uber is available out here, so that's what I've been using. I've been using Uber. On top of that, there's another app called Didi. It's specifically here from Mexico. Didi's available as well. I've used it in Tijuana, but I haven't used it out here. But sometimes it's cheaper than Uber, so it's worth checking out if you're visiting. And I was actually being told yesterday by 2 people that there's 2 other apps that work out here for rideshare. I just don't know what they are. They didn't mention names. Well, they did, but they kind of said it really, really fast. So, but there's Uber, there's Didi, and then there's apparently a couple of other options. So rideshare apps are available. Download the app. You know, I know Didi you can pay with debit card or with cash. Uber, it's just easier for me to pay with my card on file. Just one thing to keep in mind is that you're going to be charged by Uber Mexico. So you want to have a credit card that hopefully doesn't have a foreign transaction fee attached to it. Don't use your regular debit card because they could charge you a transaction fee, an international transaction fee. So it's better to change it to a credit card that has no foreign transaction fee while you're out here. When you go back to States or wherever country you're from, you can switch it back to whatever debit card you want to use. But yeah, just make sure you're aware of that. Let's see. And then here's one thing. Mexico City is like really, really diverse. So just by walking around, just by seeing everyone, I mean, there's so much diversity here. I'm seeing a lot of Asians, a lot of Orientals. I'm seeing a lot of people. Like I was sitting at the bar yesterday, and there was someone next to me from France. There was someone from Portugal. There was someone from Greece. So it's extremely diverse, and you'll be walking around town and you'll hear different languages. I hear English fairly common out here. So there's a lot of diversity here. So don't think that if you only speak English or a different language that you're going to be kind of singled out, because that's not true. It's really, really diverse. I would say even more diverse than Tijuana, and that's right next to the border for San Diego. So I'm really surprised by the diversity out here. But it is the capital of Mexico. Mexico City is the capital, so I guess it shouldn't, because a lot of people come out here for work too. But yeah, it's amazing. You'll meet a lot of cool people out here, and I'm really loving it. Here's something that kind of surprised me. I didn't know what to expect. It could have gone either way, but it's a pleasant surprise. It's actually cheaper than Tijuana, Rosarito, any of those cities right by the border for the U.S. It's quite a bit cheaper, actually. So, for example, today and yesterday, actually, I was having margaritas, right? They're $2.50 U.S. So that's 49 pesos. In Thai baht, that was about 85 baht, I believe, about 85 Thai baht. So it's extremely cheap. And that just didn't include margaritas. You could have gotten mojitos, you could have gotten tequila sunrises. There were some rum drinks. So some of the cocktails were about 49 pesos, about $2.50 US. So it's really cheap out here. Today I had pozole, which is amazing. I love pozole. I'm not a big menudo fan, but I like pozole. So comment down below. Are you a menudo or are you a pozole fan, and why? But yeah, I had pozole. It was $3 or 60 pesos. So it's extremely cheap. Tacos, I've had actually earlier today, when I first woke up, I went to a taco stand that's right outside of my hotel. I paid 13 pesos for each taco of beef, pretty much. So 13 pesos is super cheap. That's less than $1. What is that, like 85 cents, 80 cents, something like that? The last time I had tacos in TJ, I want to say they were at least $1 more per taco. So it's really cheap out here. You'll enjoy it. So one thing I kind of noticed is, if you guys have followed my channel long term, you guys know that I was in Thailand for 2 months last year, and I have to say I've noticed a lot of similarities in the culture between here and Thailand. For example, like the cost of living. The cost of living is very similar. I mean, it's cheaper for me from the US anyway, so I've seen a lot of similarities for that. Fresh fruit, like you'll find fruit carts outside, like you're walking down the street and you'll find those little carts with like fruit carts or fresh fruit, like fruit juices and stuff. So you'll see that everywhere. So that's a lot of similar stuff too. And spicy food. Both countries really like spicy food. Public transportation has been readily available, like taxis, Uber, stuff like that. Over there it's called Bolt, but yeah, you know what I mean. There's a lot of similarities. Here in Mexico City, very similar to Tijuana, Rosarito, but you'll find a 7-Eleven or an OXXO in pretty much every corner you go to. So you'll find one literally around the corner of every damn street you're going to. So yeah, that's not a problem. So if you just want a Powerade, a Gatorade or something, no problem. I mean, I got this last night when I was coming back in. It's a Powerade. I think I paid, I can't remember, I think it was 20 something pesos, so just over $1. So it's quite a bit cheaper than the US too. And then pineapple soda, that was less than $1. So yeah, it's you won't find that. I mean, you won't have a problem finding anything like that. And they 7-Elevens are everywhere, so they have the convenience of almost anything you need, so that's great. Nightlife has been amazing out here. Like the first night I got here, by the time I came back to my room, I hung up all my clothes, put everything away, and then I took a power nap because I was pretty tired and jet lagged. I didn't actually get out to the street until about 9 something, I believe, and I was able to see so many restaurants that were still packed and full. Nightclubs were popping. I mean, you'd pass by, there was nightclub after nightclub after nightclub, and there was a good amount of people in there. So, nightclubs at 10 p.m., yeah, not a big surprise, but the restaurants and stuff being so packed, that did surprise me. So there's a big nightlife scene out here. The area I stayed in, there's more nightclubs area in, but like I said, you can find pretty much anything you need around the area. But yeah, it was great. I pretty much I've been so surprised. Last night I went to the area La Condensa over there, and I was there until 1 in the morning. No, I left about 12:30, but they were doing last call at 12:30 at most of the bars in that area. So, and they told me that on weekends they stay open longer. So that's not bad though. 1 a.m. weekdays and later on the weekends. That's actually pretty good. And there's still taco places that were still open. There were still restaurants that were still open. So the taco stands, some of them are like the carts around the city. A lot of those are only during the day. So like right now, a couple of them by my hotel already shut down, but there's still some open too. And then you can still find some that sell like hamburgers, hot dogs, tacos late into the evening too. So there's not going to be a shortage of nightlife when you come. I can promise you that. It's a good city for nightlife. Okay, so I'm a solo traveler, as you guys know. I went to Thailand by myself. I go to TJ by myself a lot. I'm out here by myself. I don't mind it. I get to do my own agenda. I do whatever I want to do, and I'm not on anyone else's schedule, So anyway, but if you're solo traveling, know that Mexico City has different areas to it, Like where I'm staying, like I previously said, there's a lot of nightclubs, what they called antros out here. But if there's a lot of nightclubs like in the area by me. I'm not fond of going to a nightclub on my own, really. So I didn't go to any of the nightclubs. I enjoyed the like eating tacos. I did find a couple of bars. I found like a pizza restaurant that has a bar that I can sit on. So I still found stuff to do. But if I were to do this all over again, even though I like my hotel I'm at, it's been good, it's been comfy, cozy, clean, I would probably find a hotel that's a lot closer to La Condesa, which is an area where all the bars and nightlife, the restaurants are at, because that's more in my opinion, that's more for a solo traveler, There's bars you can do, there's bar hopping, you can sit directly at the bar. So if you're by yourself and you need to go use the restroom, you can ask the bartender, hey, I'll be right back, can you watch my drink for me? Because you're at the bar top. So I like bar hopping more than I do nightclubs when I'm by myself. So just know your areas and just be prepared. So do your research is all I can say. If you have any questions on the area, I'll answer as best as I can. But yeah, just know that, there's different areas with different things. So just make sure you find the right area that would please you the most, One thing I got to say is that everyone's been super friendly. I mean, the staff of the places I've gone to, they all want to know about me. Where am I from? What do I do out there? If I sit at the bar and I tell them I'm a bartender, they want to know everything, What are the drinks you commonly make? What's your favorite drink to make? What do you normally drink? Oh, you're a whiskey guy. Okay, what whiskey do you like to drink? So everyone has been super friendly. When I go into an Uber, they've been so kind in telling me, oh, you got to check this out while you're in town. You have to check that out while you're in town. Oh, really? You went here? Next time you should try that. They've been so friendly. Everyone has been extremely friendly here. They gave me a lot of good advice, The very first day I got here, the driver I got that was bringing me to my hotel from the airport, he just told me it's like any other city, don't wear flashy stuff, don't go in like deserted areas at nighttime, being a tourist guy, and also just if I did use a taxi, to make sure that they run the meter, because they will try to rip you off by just giving you a set price. But he said don't do that, make sure they run the meter. I would just say use Uber, Didi, something like that. But anyway, yeah, everyone's been extremely friendly, full of advice, and just willing to help me out, make sure I have a great trip. And last but not least, it's kind of funny, but so many people have told me when I tell them, like, when they ask me what am I here for, and I tell them, like, oh, no, I'm not a stranger to Mexico, but I usually go to Tijuana, or I usually go to Rosarito. And it's funny because I would say 75% of the people tell me, oh, but that's not the real Mexico. It's so close to the border that it's not really Mexico, it's very Americanized. And I have to say that's partially true, because like I was saying about the cost over here, it's cheaper. And I think over there they know that they can get away with raising the prices, because even if they charge 20, 30, 40 thinking Thailand now, pesos more, they know that it's probably still cheaper than the US. So someone from the US that doesn't know any better is going to come over here and think they're getting a bargain still. So that does make a lot of sense to me when he told me, like, it's not really Mexico, you're paying inflated prices, blah blah blah, etc. So it does make a lot of sense to me. So when they told me, like, yeah, that's good that you came out here to experience a real Mexico, and they also told me it's not a long enough time to experience all the city has to offer because it's a really big city. So it just goes back to everyone saying that everyone being so friendly and everything. So that pretty much wraps this up, though. I hope that this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions that I can try to answer, please comment below. Let me know. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. If this has been helpful at all, please give my video a like. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. And also subscribe to my channel. I have plenty of content coming up. There's so many more videos I will be posting for Mexico City. And then on top of that, hopefully in June, I will be going to Rosarito, which is a beach area closer to San Diego, but in Mexico, in late June. And then fingers crossed, I'll be returning to Thailand probably August or September, but that's to be determined. I'm still waiting on restrictions to be lifted. There shouldn't be any more curfews. They should open up all the nightclubs and everything. It's time. So I'm just waiting on that stuff to be lifted before I officially book my trip. So anyway, plenty of content to come. So please like my video, please subscribe, comment any questions you have below or anything you'd like to know. Just above all else, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And just don't drink and drive. Please drink responsibly. Just make today count. It's a beautiful day. The world is out there for you to get. So just make it happen, make it count, and do your thing. Thank you so much. Take care.